Delete Laws falls to record lows on Saturday night stream. Gets outdrawn by Floyd Wallace live stream later on Sunday. Blames shadow banning. Floyd Wallace gets wishy-washy and angry about having to learn Spanish while in predominantly Spanish-speaking countries. Feels heat as former backers offer charity donations if people stop donating to Wallace. Glober Mom's family sends thanks to all of her supporters. Plus, 2 days of goose eggs as the spirit of giving doesn't apply to auditors? Say it isn't so. All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast powered by ReallyCoolNews. I'm Johnny Jones, and I'll be your host for a combined newscast featuring stories from Sunday, December 22nd, and Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Things will continue to be slow this week as most auditors are taking a break due to the cold weather and the holidays. We expect slow news days for most of the rest of the year and into early January. Our policy for the slowness is that we need a minimum of 2 news stories and a GoFundMe story in order to release a new newscast. Otherwise, we'll do a combined newscast much like this one. We also have updates to our nightly lives and our wrap-up after the news. So, stay tuned as we ask you to focus on Delete Laws experiences record lows for stream. Jose Chili DeCastro went live again late Saturday night, with a near-record low 108 viewers on his main YouTube channel, a number that DeCastro attributed to shadow banning, even though he could not account for such low numbers on platforms outside of YouTube. DeCastro seemed to be going through the motions as he live-streamed for an hour with a heart out hanging over his head as he went into the usual batch of anti-police videos and rants. With literally nothing to talk about, DeCastro featured a video of a motorcyclist disputing a traffic pullover. DeCastro criticized the driver for not invoking his Fifth Amendment rights, as the driver volunteered information that his registration had expired. DeCastro spent time both disparaging and backing the driver's license system in America. The YouTuber attempted to appeal to his audience who believes that driver's licenses are a scam, but also reminded his audience that they must take part in the scam, as going without a license means court costs, fines, and possible jail time. The YouTuber had nothing new to say on the limited broadcast, which was apparently done to pad his watch hours. He eventually repeated another old claim that he was an empath, even as he repeatedly showed footage of a person being killed in an incident with police officers expressing great joy during the video. He also showed his great knowledge of steroids, as he claimed a police officer was on the juice just by admiring his upper body in a tight shirt. DeCastro lingered a bit on the officer's form, explaining that the man's trapezius muscles were unnatural and enhanced by steroids. Giving an update to his constitutional law scholar board game, DeCastro stated that it was both ready now and 80% complete in the same breath. He said that his fans can follow new videos of the creation of the board game on his TeamDLZ.com platform, where he drops daily new videos occasionally. He promised teaching sessions to his members of TeamDLZ.com and that the release date of the game has been delayed again until January of 2025. DeCastro had a heart out and left his fans wanting more, but promised that he would be featuring daily cop watches and audits when he visited his family later in Las Vegas over the Christmas holiday. Globemom family asks for help for memorial. YouTuber Annalisa Globemom Reynolds' daughter Caitlin released a new YouTube short last week giving thanks to fans of her mother and asking for help to pay for a memorial service in her mother's honor. Caitlin wrote on her mother's memorial page, "My mom, Annalisa Reynolds, passed away from brain cancer on November 22, 2024. She was loved and cherished by many. I have created this fundraiser for those who would like to help contribute to her memorial service. Date to be determined. This money will go towards her memorial service expenses, and anything left over will be donated to cancer research. I want to thank everyone again for reaching out and offering their support, as it means the world to me and my family. Reynolds passed away in November after a short and difficult bout with cancer. She didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her fans, and the memorial service may be live-streamed in order to help bring closure to her friends, family, and fans. Known best for her What the Hell, Karen? YouTube series and for fighting with flat earthers, Reynolds was a great fan and supporter of many in the First Amendment auditing community. Her fans cheered her on in 2022 when she stood up to doxing and harassment from Jose "Chili" DeCastro, who struck her channel in his great copyright crackdown that temporarily took down many channels including Irish Demon and Uncle Artie. When DeCastro made her harassment public, doxing Reynolds and her family in the process, Reynolds would not yield to his demands, and he ultimately blinked as both YouTube and Twitter temporarily banned his accounts until he removed the dox. To those who knew her, she was bold, fierce, and independent. She carried herself respectfully and was known for being outspoken and funny as hell in the process. Reynolds' daughter thanked her mother's fans as even as she was sick with cancer, YouTube brought her great joy and helped her in trying times to bring some light to her world. The family has set up a fund for the memorial service on screen right now. Currently, they're a little over $300 from achieving their goal. We realize that it's the holiday season and times are tough all over. They're very close to their goal, and we ask that if you have anything to spare, please give it to them. If you can't contribute to her fund, please take time to go to her channel and give her What the Hell, Karen series some time. Like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. Keep her memory alive, especially if you need some cheer during the holidays this year. Reynolds supported both our newspaper and our YouTube channel from the start. Her simple act of kindness in promoting our YouTube channel early on brought us hope in a very dark time. Her passing came too quickly for us to pay her back for her kindness. Her humor and her spirit are missed greatly, but will live on through the appreciation of her work. Again, please donate if you can and revisit her What the Hell, Karen series if you need a good laugh. You won't be disappointed. Hendry, Long Island audits funds ignored by fans. The GoFundMe market died over the weekend as we saw no donations to any of the funds that we follow over the weekend, with the market continuing to spurn both Craig Hendry's campaigns, the SCARS campaign, and Sean Paul, Long Island audits, Reyes in general. But things start at home, so let's look at our own campaign. We receive a large donation on Friday, and when we do, things tend to slow down for some time following that donation. That's just the trend, and we don't expect the deviation to change this week as the Christmas shopping season ends and people focus on putting away what little money they have left over for the new year. We've heard in the past that auditors don't like GoFundMe in general because of the 2022 Freedom Convoy incident in Canada. Essentially, early in 2022, a group of truckers had gathered in Toronto and Ottawa, Canada, to protest mandates related to vaccinations. When those protests turned violent, GoFundMe froze the campaigns related to the protests. They stopped paying out and gave refunds to anyone who requested them. Lawsuits were launched, and there was a brief anti-GoFundMe movement as GiveSendGo offered to pick up the slack for the protesters. Often, folks like Jose "Chili" DeCastro used these protests from nearly 3 years ago and the actions of GoFundMe to deter the use of the service. Of course, in DeCastro's case, it didn't stop him from opening 4 GoFundMe campaigns last year and taking in over $50,000 from his fans to help with various causes before he closed the accounts under mysterious circumstance without refunding any of the money he took in. The other strike against GoFundMe campaigns is apathy from both the creators of the campaigns and their target audience. We've said it dozens of times now, running a campaign is work. People will not give if they don't know that you have an active GoFundMe campaign. While we get trolled all the time for including our blurb at the end of every GoFundMe column, the blurb is effective in reminding people that we have a campaign and we still need your help. Let's look at the active campaigns we follow. Again, eliminating all of DeCastro's as they're currently suspended and any other campaign that cannot receive donations. Most of the campaigns that we follow seem to have been set up and immediately forgotten by their organizers. This list includes Just to Spite Chili de Castro, $0 brought in out of a $50 goal. This campaign went backwards as it had donations at one point. Support Delete Laws from the Tyranny He Fights, $371 raised out of a $20,000 goal. Not an official Delete Laws fundraiser, and its last known donation was 5 months ago. Help BZ Watchdog hold police accountable, $100 raised out of a $2,500 goal. Last donation came 5 months ago. Thailand or Philippines tour, Floyd Wallace, $410 raised out of a $3,000 goal. Last donation 11 months ago. Support Texas Sheepdog 72 and his fight for your rights, $407 raised out of a $5,000 goal. Last donation 9 months ago. A family fallen on hard times, Jeremiah Payne, $80 raised out of a $7,000 goal. Its last donation came 10 months ago. Support justice and empower community voices, Rage Girl Radio, $20 raised out of a $20,000 goal. Its last donation came 3 months ago. There are other campaigns that have run their course due to extenuating circumstances. This group includes most of Long Island Audit's campaigns, though we'll get to him later. Support Press with Ranker's Legal Fund, $4,194 taken in out of a $45,000 goal. Its last donation was 5 months ago. This fund literally ended with a fallout between Garrett Press with Ranker, Van Nett, and Jose Chili de Castro. De Castro no longer promotes the campaign, so it died. Cover defense costs against a frivolous lawsuit, Blue Bacon, $19,730 raised out of a $15,000 goal. Last donation 3 months ago. This campaign met its goal. It gets a drive-by promotion now and then, but is otherwise dead. Help for Public Safety Fight Fraud recovered, $3,687 raised out of an $8,500 goal. Its last donation came 7 months ago. Christopher Reeder has become toxic and a LOL cow in the past 7 months. He doesn't promote the campaign, and it has died as there's no interest in giving. Support Craig's fight against injustice. Craig Hendry, $885 raised out of a $15,000 goal. The last donation was made 27 days ago. This one seems to have died because Hendry's support team switched to his other campaign. Jumping to Sean Paul, Long Island Audits Reyes. The man is a special case in every way, shape, and form. His campaigns live and die by the controversy he manages to stir up. Right now, it's the end of the year, and he really doesn't have a new controversy to promote, so all of his campaigns are down. We have no doubt that the second he gets something to promote, he'll be pulling in huge donations again. He's managed to raise over $100,000 from GoFundMe, and will surely return to the service when he needs an influx of quick cash. That leaves our regular campaigns that tend to get donations when they're promoted and are currently making up the bulk of wins and losses in our daily tracking. Defend DMA in the overlong campaign title, Christopher Denver Metro Audits, Cordova has raised $800 out of a $20,000 goal. He gets donations when he remembers to promote the campaign, but currently can't be bothered. Last donation came a month ago. To support Craig's work, Craig Hendry, $5,061 raised out of a $4,000 goal. For whatever reason, this is the campaign Hendry's camp is promoting at the moment. Its last donation came 2 days ago and gets donations whenever it is promoted. Help Christopher Ruff clear his name, Direct D, $11,655 raised out of $100,000. The last donation came a month ago, and this one is teetering between dead and active, depending on if his fans discover it on their own. Ruff is not promoting it. He's making enough off of his YouTube channel to meet his needs, and while it gets wins here and there, it won't be active anytime soon. Support the fight for our constitutional rights. Liberty Troll, $1,585 raised out of a $30,000 goal. Again, this one gets drive-by donations, but isn't being actively promoted. Not a lot is known about the cause, and he gets donations as he promotes it. Boost Scar's mission for veterans and citizens. The Angry Vet, $1,180 raised out of a $20,000 goal. The campaign's last donation came in 4 days ago. This one is confusing as the angry vet is currently running an active campaign for donations. However, the angry vet's current LOL cow status will mean this campaign will get drive-by status at best and the occasional win for the day on slow days. We'll update this list next month to see if things change in the new year.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Floyd Wallace bores himself, fans, into silence. Fans were alarmed by the chaotic life of Floyd Wallace during his Sunday livestream as he lashed out at learning, demanded money to take advice from others, and saw one of his former supporters offer to donate to charity if his fans did not help Wallace achieve his financial goals. Wallace was in an upbeat mood as the livestream began, promising that he would be devoting a portion of every livestream to learning Spanish on his own, with help from his fans. This was a reverse of previous statements that he did not need to know the language and that if his fans wanted him to learn the language, they needed to pay him. He said he would be fundraising for his eventual departure from Colombia for Brazil, but instead started a $100 fundraising campaign in order to go to Bogota, Colombia, as he wanted to spend Christmas with a woman who apparently offered him sex. Wallace's fundraiser was immediately countered by former supporter That Social Owner, who posted in Wallace's side chat, "If nobody sends him money, I'll donate $200 to cancer research for children or any charity of your choice has nothing to do with Floyd." The fundraiser made $1 towards the $100 goal by the end of the livestream. It is unclear if That Social Owner will make his promised donation to the charity, since, technically, Wallace received at least a single donation to his campaign. Wallace was angered by That Social Owner's actions and began to get annoyed with his side chat and lack of donations from his viewers. He then returned to insisting that he would not answer questions unless they were made through Super Chat or Cash App donation. After one of these donations, Wallace answered the question of how much he made off of YouTube each month. He admitted that he made around $2,000 a month from his main channel, as he was currently shadow banned. He bragged that he was set to be paid on Monday and then could travel freely to Bogota or Brazil on his own without the need of a fundraiser. Wallace got further angered at his viewers after initially admitting that he was down to $1,000 in his bank account, and that he had left the United States with $2,000 to his name, and that he still had outstanding fees due for his probation in Texas and fines due for a traffic ticket in New Mexico that have seen a warrant issued for Wallace's arrest. This led to Wallace lashing out at his fans, now screaming that he was in charge of his life, and that if anyone wanted him to listen to their advice, or even think about taking their advice, they must bribe him. He would no longer listen to unsolicited advice without a cash payment. He also stated that he would no longer learn Spanish for free. He reversed course from his earlier announcement and would only attempt to learn the language if his fans donated to each session. Otherwise, he was fine, and his fans should stop complaining to him about his lack of effort to learn. While Wallace's 138 live viewers surpassed Jose Chile de Castro's recent draws to his live streams, Wallace bemoaned the lack of donations, even though he received a steady stream of super chats throughout the program. Wallace ended the live stream early as he said he ran out of things to talk about. The YouTuber is expected to go live again on Monday. And we're back. There's a lot going on with the holidays in our live schedule this week. We'll be on as normal tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have some sort of either a pet special or a week in review stream, which is very late for last week, at the same time on Tuesday night. Our human slave Jim's dad is currently in the hospital, and the planned schedule is a bit more hectic with the animals right now. If we do the promised animal show, we may end up doing a produced show featuring highlights of the indoor animals on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day will be on as normal at 8 p.m. Eastern, even if it's a Jim and Phil show. Boxing Day will be off due to Go Team, and Friday will have a 7 p.m. Eastern start, so we don't conflict with that other show people our audience tends to watch. Since our Go team chances for playoffs are more than likely coming to an end in 2 weeks, we may do our week in review show Sunday nights instead of a midday premiere. Anyone following that? Anyone still awake? Okay, everything is subject to change, but this seems to be the plan for the rest of the week. With that, we're out of here. Happy whatever, and may the strife you save be your own.